Hi, everybody. Welcome to Take a Break with Jake. I'm Jake, and I'm here with one of my favorite creatures at the Nashville Zoo. His name is Petrie, and Petrie is a green arasari. Hi, buddy. So he's chowing down on a bunch of food, and he'll probably continue to do that while I tell you a little bit about green arasaris. So green arasaris are a species of toucan. They live down in South America, in the northeast part of South America, actually. And other species of toucan are found throughout Central and South America. So it really just depends on the species where you can find them. And I apologize in advance. This boy is moving around a lot, so just bear with me as I follow him around.
You're going to have to work on your camera work, Jake.
I know, while I'm trying to talk at the same time. How fun. Okay, so their primary habitat is actually lowland tropical forests, and that's where they can mostly be found, but you can find them ranging in a variety of different places. Toucans are pretty cool. They are kind of hallmarked by this gigantic bill, and most of them have a massive bill that kind of takes up most of the length of their body, and they use that to grab all kinds of fruits and vegetables from high up in the trees, and insects as well. We'll talk about that in a little bit. The other things that toucans all have are zygodactyl feet, and you can see Petrie using those cute little feet right now. That means he has 2 toes in the front and 2 toes in the back that he can use to hold onto branches while he hops around. And for toucans, their primary mode of locomotion isn't really flying, it's a lot more hopping. And that's why we have Petrie's little presentation thing set up like this. He can hop all around, and they can actually hold onto a perch that's completely vertical, which is really cool. And we'll try to show that off a little bit later. It's pretty neat to see. So toucans, like I mentioned a little bit ago, they eat a lot of fruit, they eat a lot of vegetation. But they'll also eat a lot of other things like small animals, eggs, pretty much anything they can find. And in the wild, they eat a lot of like dates and figs, which is pretty cool because in human care, at least with Petrie, he does not care about dates or figs. He's like blueberries all the time.
Blueberries are bust.
I know, all day. The other cool thing about toucans is there are actually over 40 species. And like I mentioned, I know, isn't that crazy?
I don't think I realized there were that many.
So many toucans.
And are they all in South America?
They are in Central and South America. And
okay.
The green arasari is not even the tiniest of the arasaris, or of the toucans. One of the smaller ones. I know. So cool, right? Oh my gosh, Petrie.
So how small is the smallest, I guess, is my question.
Maybe about 20 or 30 grams smaller than Pete. And he weighs, I'll get to this a little bit later, but he weighs about 150 grams.
Okay.
Yeah. So green arasaris are really cool. They mate in interesting ways. They're called cavity nesters, which means that they find a hole in a tree and use that as kind of their nest. And they hollow out maybe an old woodpecker area. They don't do a lot of the like chipping away themselves. They kind of just like work with what they can find.
So they're
and then
opportunistic.
They'll build their nest in there, and they can have 2 to 4 eggs in each clutch, and the incubation time is really short. It's only about 17 days. Imagine having a baby out in 17 days. Incredible, right?
Wow.
And both parents will actually care for the young, so they both kind of go out looking for different kinds of food and bring it back and then regurgitate it over to their little chickies, which is really sweet.
So they're kind of collaborative throughout the entire time, or is it like our rhino hornbills where the dad does a lot of the work while mom's in the tree?
A little more collaborative than the hornbills. They kind of, I mean, obviously hornbills are collaborative, but both male and female are like out getting food and foraging and taking turns, even a little bit sitting on the nest, although the female does the primary work on the nest.
Okay.
Do you want that little bit of food? He says, thank you. He's being so gentle right now. In the wild, arasaris typically only live to be about like 5 to 10 years of age. In human care, they can live upwards of 16 years. And obviously, like in the wild, they live much shorter lives because they have to worry about predation. They have to worry about habitat loss. And green arasaris are actually preyed upon by a lot of different things like birds of prey. So your owls, your hawks, your eagles, foxes, coati, snakes, anything that's much larger than them looks at them like a snack. Oh, you can hear him.
Which is appropriate considering he looks at blueberries like his snack.
I know. Loves a blueberry. So handsome that Petrie is. Okay, I'm getting him
I
some
can
more.
see why he's your favorite, Jake.
I know, right? He's just the cutest thing. He's
Mm-hmm.
what's kind of fun is he was the first animal that I trained here at the zoo when I started about 5 years ago. So he and I have a special bond. Do you want that? There you go.
I can't believe that.
I know. 5 whole years. Okay. So
Crazy.
Petrie, yeah, it is kind of crazy. So Petrie is really special to us here at the zoo. Like I said, he's just over 5 years old. And like I mentioned a little earlier, Kelsey, he weighs about 150 grams. And I had to do some research to try to help people like understand how much 150 grams is, because most of us don't have like
Thank
tiny
you.
scales that we're playing with every day, right? That's about as much as an average cell phone. So like my cell phone is like an iPhone something something. It's old, and it weighs about 140 grams, and that's about as much as Petrie is. So I tell people, if you want to hold Petrie, just hold your cell phone and pretend it has a big beak, and then you can hold Petrie. How fun! An activity
Did we
for
just hear a
home.
little Petrie noise?
Yeah, he's being a little baby right now. He's making all kinds of little baby noises. He usually does that when he wants scratches. Yeah, these are his baby noises. You're the best baby. Hi.
Oh, he's so cute. Jake, can you kind of give us like your hand for scale again, like we've been doing? Because I think it's hard to picture just how small he is.
He's
I mean,
tiny.
He's
These are normal sized keys. That's helpful too, right? Wait.
Thank you for specifying that.
This is a 32-ounce Nalgene. Petrie's like, please stop playing around and just scratch me.
Get back to the scratches.
Yeah. So obviously scratches are one of his favorite things. He loves blueberries, like I mentioned a little bit earlier. He has a handful of us trainers here at the zoo that he loves hanging out with and getting this social interaction from. And he loves, because he's a cavity nester, he loves like running into boots and shoes and any kind of like dark cavity or crevice that he can get into. He'll go in and like play around in there, which is really cute. Petrie's job here at the zoo, Kelsey, as you know, is that he's an ambassador animal. And most of the animals that I bring out for Take a Break with Jake are our amazing ambassador animal collection. And they're kind of like our family members who help us educate and connect people more closely to wildlife. So these are the animals that you'll see in our shows and in our encounters around the zoo. Sometimes our outreach programming offsite all around Middle Tennessee. You can see all these cool animals.
Jake, we kind of talked about this a little bit about his physical features, but I saw a question come in and I wanted to go ahead and grab it from two of our kids' viewers, Eli and Logan. They both asked, how long is his beak?
Oh gosh, okay. I'm gonna say 4 inches long.
Okay.
Yeah. So his beak is, if we go with the measurement of 4 inches, we say his beak is 4 inches from his eyeball down to his red little rump right there. Cute. That's what I would say is 6 inches, and then his little tail is 3 inches. So if you add all those together, you get how long Petrie is from the tip of his beak to the tip of his tail.
13 inches for those of you who need that math calculation this morning.
I mean, I did, so thank you. The RSR is really cool. All the toucans have that gigantic bill that helps them grab all of those things. And you can see really well when he kind of looks away from us. But even right now, you can see the serrations in his beak.
Yeah.
And that is sharp like a steak knife, which he can use to protect himself from predators out in the wild. If he has like an animal coming after him, he might try to bite them. But RSRs are a lot more flight than fight. So they're not really going to, stand their ground. They're going to be like, thank you, goodbye.
I saw another question actually about his beak, Jake.
Okay.
Why do they have the beak shape that they do?
So if you think about the way that fruits grow on trees, they're not all like right next to the trunk, like in a really accessible manner. Okay. They're actually like spread out through vines and little twigs and all of that. So it's harder to just like go grab a bunch of figs from a tree and be like, hey, I'm eating all of you right now. So the beak helps the RSRs and the other toucan species grab things that are a little further away that maybe other animals can't reach, and allows them to eat more things out in the wild. It also helps for sure because although our saris are super cute, one of my favorite things about them is that they will, I'm trying to say this nicely, they will find other birds' nests and just go to town on the eggs, on the baby chicks. Like they just slurp them right up. And I've seen a video of some green arsaris that were very hungry and wanted to eat some eggs, and they did that right from under the mom, which is really crazy.
Oh my
So
gosh.
I know they're kind of ruthless. So although he's really cute and sweet, he can definitely do some damage with that beak and certainly knows what he wants to eat all the time.
Just like you.
Yeah, and you can see like he left some of his food here. We don't like apple. Apple is garbage. We also don't like whatever those orange things are, usually carrot or sweet potato. That's not cute. Gross, gross, gross. We're all about the sweet things in life. So banana, blueberry, papaya. He's been getting plum recently. Do you want this?
Okay.
Yeah, he wants the banana. You good boy. Okay, come get your banana there. Okay, now Kelsey, I know a lot of people often wonder like how are green arsaris doing in the wild? So I wanted to chat a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So in the wild, green arsaris are considered least concern. So they're not really an animal that the IUCN, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, is super concerned about right now because their population is relatively stable. They have a lot of predators, like I mentioned earlier today, but they more have to worry about things like deforestation, so human-caused issues. And like I mentioned earlier too, they're a lot more flight than fight. So when an animal kind of bothers them or a predator comes near, they'll very shrilly scream or cry to warn other arsaris and then peace out of there. And they can fly really quickly when they need to. They're not what I would consider super acrobatic flyers, but they certainly can move quickly through the air. And along with their conservation status, people often ask, how can I help arsaris? And that's one of my favorite questions because I love that people are considering how wild animals are doing and what we can do to help them. Even though Petrie's giving you the cold shoulder right now. Hi, Pete. You can look this direction, buddy. Things we can do to help arsaris and all of the birds in the rainforest. One really easy thing we can do is purchase bird-safe coffee. So that's typically coffee that's grown on farms, like under the canopy of the rainforest, instead of clear-cutting rainforest to make room for the farms. That's a really great way to help people and birds kind of get what they need from the earth. Another simple thing we can do is when you get your aluminum cans from your soda or whatever you're drinking, you can recycle those or reuse them or whatever you can do to reduce the need for more cans to be made, because bauxite is a type of rock that we need to make aluminum, and it's found a lot around the world, but there are a couple of major extraction spots in South America. And so if we recycle,
aluminum cans are like the most recyclable thing out there, right? Like they have unlimited uses over and over and over. So it's really important to recycle those.
Exactly. Thank you, Kelsey. So if we do that, there's less need for the bauxite to be mined. Great for everybody, including the arsari. And the last really simple way that we can all help out with beautiful green arsari conservation is by donating to conservation organizations like your National Zoo. So I think a lot of people sometimes forget that we are a nonprofit, and a lot of our income every year from admission, all of that, it certainly goes to help care for these beautiful animals, but a lot of it also goes to our conservation partners worldwide. And you can check all of that out on the nationalzoo.org website by searching WildWorks. And you can see all of our amazing partners, one of which is Rarick, which is a really cool place that's located in Peru. And they do a lot of rehabilitation and rescuing and release of hundreds of native South American wildlife every single year. So we're really proud to be a part of that community and help Rarick out with funding and resources. Right, Pete? So handsome.
Oh, Gibbons agree.
Yeah, the Gibbons are out there. They're saying hello. Please include us in your video. Always.